Well,
Yep. There we go.
so apparently it has to have a good 9-volt battery in it. Now we know.
It lasts a while at least. Oh yeah, okay.
All right. Do you need to test anything for me now?
I can adjust as we
Okay.
go, so that's fine.
We think it's okay to sit together.
How are you tonight?
You sure you're all good?
Yeah. I'm Vivian. Nice to meet you.
Irvin.
Irvin. I'm Ariel.
Sender.
Sender. S-E-N-D-E-R.
Yep.
Like the guitar.
Maybe.
Like the guitar.
Oh, guitar.
Yeah.
Fender.
Fender or Sender?
Sender with
Fender, okay.
Oh, sorry.
I was mistaken. Yeah, Fender is a guitar. That's what made me stop and think what he was saying.
Hi.
Are you new to Madison?
Shabbat Shalom.
We've been in the,
Andrew
no, we've been in
Jacob
the.
Namian. What is she here?
Nice to meet you. Nice to have you. I'm Ariel. This is Sander.
Hi, Sandra.
And I'm,
Kaplan's?
yeah,
You snuck in.
I'll check you out.
oh, yeah, that's right.
I didn't think we could snuck anywhere.
You snuck behind me.
Shabbat Shalom.
I thought,
Okay.
my name is, it's my wife Tam, and I'm Ken.
So,
Well,
glad you're joining us.
glad you braved the cold to join us.
Yeah.
Don't worry, they say it's
Nothing
gonna get
personal.
colder.
Oh, sure. Well, it is
Gee.
Wisconsin.
Is this supposed to mean something?
Yes.
Is this supposed to mean
Very
something?
well.
Yeah, I'm not in Wisconsin.
You're what?
I'm being COVID conscious.
I haven't seen.
All right, so how are we gonna, where are we gonna sit? How about there's a 3 and we'll see if we can go 2 and 2 or something, how do you feel about that?
What?
Oh, yes.
Each month, although you have to sit in front.
Oh,
you gotta go sit
I don't know if we've met, maybe they don't recognize us. I don't think so. I'm John. I hope you're.
There. Jenny can sit there.
My brother got a smoker. Anything. Thanksgiving, actually.
We're okay.
We never know how many people we're gonna get.
Moved the camera from the
In
ceiling
person and we're broadcasting on YouTube,
to
so.
soffit here. Because we're getting vibrating.
See what happens there.
Pete was in yesterday to do some
Perhaps after
check-ins
the
on
events.
stuff. Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, yeah.
You both live in Madison or?
Yeah.
What is it?
What do you do? What's your?
I work at Epson. I'm a little busy right now.
That's probably, yeah, I should have expected that.
And I'm an artist. Doing ceramic art.
Oh, so you know, very nice. And it happens, what's your position?
No, actually, well, I was already gotten it recovered from it
Okay.
a little while
Does that
back.
mean you travel when you go active?
Not too much. Actually,
Still.
bad timing. I happened to be there right when the Omicron was just beginning.
Right.
So,
That's really a burnout.
yeah, for me, it was very mild. But, you know, fully vaccinated and still so.
Well, I'm glad you're here. Welcome. Relax. Enjoy Shabbat.
So I was in New York and it was right when Omicron was beginning, before we even really knew about it. And I was, yep.
So Joanna,
I mean, you
Shalom.
can,
That's just,
from
The reality
and
is
set up remote access to our live stream, not only.
I'm sorry?
it's not made, the fact that it's a milder dose does not make things necessarily easier or harder. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, well, I think, man, the little one is in Chicago, just got over.
Oh,
It was
okay.
supposed to be here this week, but he got sick last week.
Today? Last week, I remember. They come to Capitol Lake.
Cold.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they got, he's had a shower. The first time he got it was just shortly after.
And you did your own nails?
Shortly after the first shower, right before. No, his dad was before his household that got it. He had,
Oh, you know,
he was
our
going
little
to, yeah. To school and everything, yeah.
At the beginning of.
Yeah, chairs are, Nick think is a solar
Chairs?
color.
Well, our kids have
Hope
them.
that the news that area has
So what happened?
Chairs need to be
And they're
done.
all-
Fire safety,
and
you know,
they're not
like,
needed
fire
to-
alarm, everyone just kind of runs chairs, push all the way. There's initiatives like that.
It's especially very interesting time trying to be
Well,
a Jewish community, or I think it's like any community, even part of Weekdays. We've gone through the whole roller coaster of like fully online and started to do some in-person things over the summer.
I wanted. Anyway, not.
Bit by bit, and we're learning constantly.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah, a lot of it really self-selecting, partially Omicron, partially
They
weather.
didn't reschedule. So
So, and fortunately, we've been, live streaming more, so.
So I would guess that there is
We're not live streaming.
here, so.
well, that's terrible.
And then they gave me.
Less of a curve, more of a vertical wall sometimes, but we do okay. Good Shabbos.
right, you're exactly the place that you want.
That's a shame. You probably have more than keep up for, but I have not noticed it with the movies on it.
Thank you,
Very nice.
Oh, they,
Then called up Better Business Bureau in Miami.
one.
A lot of complaints against overseas. And mainly
It still was
against
very
things like
friendly every week though, so.
Yeah, I mean, they should have given you the same price, same everything.
I don't know why, we're all like.
Plus, it was a lesser cruise. It didn't have the four dinners and the fancy restaurants. And we're supposed to eat at the club.
It was nice to see you all, online at the.
Apparently,
They're
it's
doing all right.
we were supposed to eat the Davidson House.
I remember you mentioning that to everyone. We'd like to see
We were supposed to eat Thursday night.
Still early, but every test has been.
I love it, like it started as a Shabbat really thing, and now it's just like, well, we just like to hang out.
By the end of the week, so very much.
Driving from
The year ago, I was still very
and they are,
particular.
they do take
Many weeks we go
Doubly
there.
Then
They actually,
Monday.
travel
That was
to-
No, no, it's identical.
I know something like that happened after Pittsburgh, they probably did like show up for Shabbat.
Identical twins are not here.
This summer that, yeah, I always have
Both
working in
rabbis, I
the,
went ahead and watched
I
it.
don't know if anyone in the shop is.
It was also means
That day.
Just found out today.
Again, get things together.
I'm not.
there's been a few of those kinds of jokes going around, like we added that to our job description.
How was the convention this year?
Oh, not as nice. I didn't know. Last year, it was first time we did it, and we wanted to eat it, and they were so bad, and they thought, well, that's pretty good. This was probably one of the best, but I didn't have the interest in it, the speakers.
You don't really have the same connection on a TV screen.
No, and they didn't allow too much time for visiting. They had one or two times where we could see each other talk, but the time frame was like really short.
Let's hope next year you will.
I hope so, but I don't even know how we're gonna do it. He doesn't wanna drive, he doesn't wanna talk, I don't know what we're gonna do. And it's clear out in Arizona.
Put it in an envelope and put a big post.
How you doing?
We'll go to big enough envelope for him and put a big postage on it. And he'll show up there. Got packed and then he put it back in the envelope and sent it out. And a sweatshirt, you can sweater your little house. Except it's not big as the heaviest of the
Right. I have a lot of time, so it's maybe 80. 85, no, I got rid of most of it. It says 728.
You were on the Zoom last night, right?
You know? And the part
No, but I'm anxious to see if the airplane will fly. And that we would have taken. And, it wasn't going to good. They canceled so many of the planes. And then I'm curious to see if the one went to South America. That was about the time we were supposed to be leaving.
Is he coming into Chicago? No, he's flying from Israel to New York. Oh, I did.
He's flying where?
To Newark. He was the one.
We were supposed to be flying out about 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
That's right. He did. Whoever the White House meeting was.
The craziest I had is we were doing our switchover on the boat. You know, we switch crews every 3 months. And we flew back from Guam on December 5th. And I got back to Pearl Harbor on December 4th. And that was my birthday. I tried to call Social Security, tried to get Social Security a year earlier. They didn't buy it. But I had 2 birthdays that one year.
Yeah, right. They'll fly that way.
That flight home was really good. We used to all sign an order sheet to buy 5/5 of liquor at Guam duty free.
Yeah.
And on walk for it, and not enough to get our walk.
Good, I'd love to have your guide.
$2.45 for Johnny Walker Black.
Have you read it?
But anyway, it always seemed to be one of the bottles emptied out on the way. I'm in flight. Or got a good start on it. Look, I was 20 years old. That's a big difference.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. We will begin, and I'm glad to see that you have a sense that for those in the sanctuary, you should have a program because there's a song supplement in the program, and also you should have our Siddur, our prayer book for this evening, Mishkan Tefillah. So you should have both of these to help with tonight's worship. And also, if you are with us online, we're so glad that you are. You have two links there in the video description We have a URL that'll take you to our prayer book, or to a virtual prayer book. And it will also take you to, another URL will take you to our program that has the supplemental music and words for tonight. At the end of a very busy week, at the end of a very difficult week for so many people, we take this opportunity to welcome Shabbat, not into our community only, but into our hearts and our lives. And so we begin our worship here tonight, welcoming those here in the sanctuary and you online as well. Cantor.
Yai la 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 da
Shabbat Shalom. Dear God, we thank you for the gift of life with which you bless us every day. The lives we lead consists of highs and lows, pleasures and difficulties, delights and challenges. And I think that the week that we have just concluded contained them all. I hope we had some good parts of this week as well as some of the difficult parts. We are grateful for the preservation of life, especially that which we experienced when that Jewish house of worship in Colleyville, Texas, was confronted with danger just a short 6.5 days ago. Yet, God, we know that you have allowed us to grow in courage and confidence so that the lives saved there are a product of the divine human partnership. For knowing and acknowledging this, and for our finding our collective courage to hold the members of Congregation Beth Israel and its rabbi in our hearts, we are grateful and we are humbled by your grace. We turn to page 129. We begin with Ki Eshmerah Shabbat 129 in the prayer book. It's the second selection from the bottom.
Shabbat el yishmereni oti le'od beino uveini yeshmerah Shabbat
El Yishmereni Oti le'omead Beino uveini Shabbat El Yishmereni Oti le'ol me'ad Beino uveini Normally on the third Friday evening of the month, we have our promised band here with us. Tonight, we are having a slightly different service based upon the events of the week. Tonight's worship will be mostly music, and we hope that you will have an opportunity to hear some familiar tunes, and when you don't hear the familiar ones, to learn the new ones. But they'll be just of a slightly different quality based upon the place where we all are in our lives as connected to Jewish community. Kindling light is an act of warmth and beauty. Kindling flame is life-affirming and banishes the darkness that pervades and obscures the beauty of the world. Bringing forth flames from the raw materials of which they are made is a symbol of our determination and resilience. And enabling light also provides knowledge and progress in our world. When we light these Shabbat lights, we stand against hatred, bigotry, and violence. And when we stand against hatred, we break down the silos of our lives and stand with one another in love and support. And when we stand together, we feel confident that our words and deeds are one. Praised are you, O God, who allows us all to see by your light. We invite you to turn to page 120 in the prayer book.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We'll be jumping around a little bit into the prayer book tonight, but we continue on page 142. Shalom Aleichem.
It's a tune by Debbie Friedman. It's actually one of the last melodies that she wrote before she died, if not the last.
Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Let's try that once more. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Roachem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We are reminded each week that the Shabbat is a treasure, and not only is it a treasure, it is our treasure, and no one can take that away from us. And whether we commune with ourselves as individuals on this day or we visit and recreate with others in our family and friendship circle, this is a day of celebration, a day of rest, a day of joy of the Spirit. It is part of the life force that keeps us whole. We begin Kabbalat Shabbat, formally welcoming Shabbat, on page 135 tonight, the last Hebrew paragraph on that page, Romimu, page 135.
Now, this is going to sound like a tune that you might know, but it's just a little bit different. So if you know it, please feel free to join in, and we'll get into it together. Romimu, 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 Adonai Eloheinu. Romimu, 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 Adonai Eloheinu. Romimu, 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 Adonai Eloheinu. Romimu, 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 Adonai Eloheinu. Next part. V'hishtachavu lehar kodsho, v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho, Ikadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Let's try that again. V'hishtachavu lehar kodsho, v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho, Ikadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Romimu, Romimu, Adonai Eloheinu. Romimu, 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 Adonai Eloheinu. Ikadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Ikadosh Adonai Eloheinu.
Adonai Eloheinu. Romimbu, romimbu, romimbu. Adonai Eloheinu. V'hishtachavu nehar kocho, v'hishtachavu nehar kocho, ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Romimbu, romimbu. Adonai Eloheinu. Romimbu, romimbu, romimbu. Adonai Eloheinu.
To you, dear ones, to you, dear one, the bride of Shabbat, we welcome you on this night. Lecha Dodi is on page 138 in our prayer book. And tonight we're offering verses 1, 4, 8, and 9. I'll give you some subtle clues when we get there. And of course, for verse 9, we rise and face the door in a symbolic way of welcoming Shabbat here to our sanctuary.
Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala Penei Shabbat Nikabela. Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala Penei Shabbat Nikabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad Hishmi'anu el hameyuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shem u'tiferet v'nitila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nikabela. Hitna'ari me'afar kumi livshi bigdei tifatech ami. Hayad ben Ishai beit halachmi korva el nafshi. Allah lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nikabela. Yamin u'smol tifrotzi ve'et Adonai taritzi. Al yarish ben parzi ve'nismecha ve'nagila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nikabela.
Verse 9.
Boi v'shalom ateret pala gam v'simcha uv'tzola. Toch emunei am segula boi chala lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nikabela. Penei Shabbat
nekabela.
And on page 140, we offer Psalm 92, a special psalm written in honor of the day of Shabbat, back when the Psalter was written. This psalm, Psalm 92, presents to us beautiful imagery of the strength of our people, whether it's through music or through nature, as we welcome this day of rest.
Core to the beginning of this psalm for the day of Shabbat is this phrase, Tov lehodot l'Adonai. It is good to give thanks. But also lehagid baboker chastecha, to say God's grace in the morning, ve'emunatcha baleilot, and God's faithfulness at night. That we have gratitude in the morning when things are clear, when things are bright, maybe even joyous. And we have to work sometimes harder to find moments of gratitude and to see God's faithfulness in the darkness and when things are less clear. Path ahead is maybe not as straight or as clear for us. So we offer this song. Mizmor shir leyom haShabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, lehagi baboker chastecha, lehagi baboker chastecha, ve'emunatcha baleilot, ve'emunatcha baleilot, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, lehagi baboker chastecha, lehagi baboker chastecha, ve'emunatcha baleilot, ve'emunatcha baleilot, Tov lehodot l'Adonai.
Because there is hate, dear God, help us heal our fractured and broken world. Because there is fear, O God, grant courage and faith to those in need. Because there is pain, dear God, bring healing to the shattered and the wounded. Because there is hope, dear God, teach us to be a force for justice and kindness. Because there is love, dear God, help us to be a beacon of light and compassion. Ma'ariv service now, the actual worship of the service, begins on page 146. We invite you to rise for Baruch Hu, and then we'll be turning to the supplement also, so have that on hand. Page 146, we begin with Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach leolam va'ed.
O God, the sunset and its shadows, and the dawn and its daylight, and the other natural forces that find their expression in the rotation of the planets and the symmetry of the universe. God, these are all powerful expressions of your love for us. So grant us the ability to see your guiding influence in the ways of the world and to find joy in the gift of your Torah's love. We continue in the supplement. We are loved.
All right, I want to teach you all just the refrain for this first. We are loved by an unending love. So listen first. You'll see it's in that small section a little bit toward the middle. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love, an unending love. Let's try that together. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love, an unending love. Once more. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love, an unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love, an unending love. Now there's a melody that repeats all the way throughout the verses, so once you get it once, you'll have it forever. We are embraced by arms that find us, even when we are hidden from ourselves. Let's try that together. We are embraced by arms that find us, even when we are hidden from ourselves. It continues. We are touched by fingers that soothe us, even when we are too proud for soothing. We are counseled by voices that guide us, even when we are too embittered to hear. We are loved, we are loved, loved, loved by unending love, an unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love, an unending love. We are supported by hands that uplift us, even in the midst of a fall. We are urged on by eyes that meet us, even when we are too weak for meeting. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love, an unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love, an unending love. Embraced, touched, soothed, and counseled, ours are the arms, the fingers, the voices. Ours are the hands, the eyes, and the smiles. We are loved by an unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love, an unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love, an unending love. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael.
Page 152.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Please be seated. On 154, we come to Ve'ahavta, and we're going to try to read this a little bit differently, just because of the different nature of this Shabbat. We'll read a sentence in Hebrew, and then we'll offer its translation, and maybe we'll try and go back and forth and see how that works. Okay.
How would you like to do this?
I'll start.
Okay.
Okay. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha.
You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might.
V'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha.
Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day.
V'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha.
Impress them upon your children, recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up.
Ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha.
Bind them as a sign on your hand and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead.
Uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvish arecha.
Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates.
Lema'an tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hiyitem kedoshim lelohechem.
Thus shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God.
Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiot lachem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God.
Rabbi Charlie Citron Walker wrote these words. I'm not exactly sure when he wrote these words, but these values are certainly values that he seems to cherish and values that we cherish as well. He writes, "We are not helpless. We bring healing with Band-Aids and hugs, a cup of coffee and chicken soup. We are not helpless. We bring healing with a text, a call, a card, a response that says you are not alone. We are not helpless. We bring healing with acceptance, patience, and understanding for ourselves and others. We are not helpless. We bring healing with words of compassion and acts of compassion, reaching out with care and love. We are not helpless. We bring healing to heart and mind, body and soul. We bring healing every day. We are not helpless." We continue with Michamocha on page 158.
All you need to do for this one is just repeat after me. Rabbi, I think you'll help us with that.
Be happy to.
Thank you. Michamocha Ha'elim Adonai
Ha'elim Adonai
Michamocha
Michamocha
Nedar Bakodesh
Nedar Bakodesh
Nora Tehilo Oseh
Bifnei Moshe u'Miriam.
Ze'eli Anu ve'ameru
Anu ve'ameru
Adonai imlo
Adonai imlo
Le'olam va'ed
Le'olam va'ed.
ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Tonight's Hashkivenu, it can be found on page 4 of the supplement. And understanding that Hashkivenu is a prayer in response perhaps to some of the fears that we have as we enter a time of night, as we lie down. We don't know what's going to happen to us till we rise tomorrow morning, God willing, certainly. And yet this was the rabbi's response, that despite the uncertainty, that still we ask God's protection and we offer our faith in God at this moment in time.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, v'ha'amidenu shomreinu l'chaim, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, v'ha'amidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen.
O God, may we see the spark of holiness in all we do. May the light of God guide us through the darkness. May our prayers indeed strengthen us, urging us to be present for all those who are suffering. May we continue to be messengers of caring and compassion, partners with God in the work of healing. May we be guided to fight injustice and to love peace and harmony. May God's blessing be with those who are in our hearts as we utter our worship and our prayers on this night. And may all that is good in life lead us to passion and to radiant fullness.
Amen. 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 Amen.
Before us, in the prayer book and in the supplements that we have, there are thousands of words. And these are words placed here by other people, some by us, I grant that. But now we offer time during our worship for tefillah, the Amidah, right, the Shemona Esrei. Tonight we're going to offer tefillah completely quietly. Maybe you'll hear some music, and we do have a special bit of music that we'll begin tefillah with. But this gives us our own opportunity just to come forth with the prayers that emanate from our own hearts and minds, wherever they may be from, wherever they may be directed to. That's up to us as individuals. And also, when we begin the tefillah, not right now, but when we begin the tefillah, you can stand or sit, as is your custom or as is your desire at that particular moment. Again, normally we would stand for the beginning of tefillah, but now some people may stand and some people may sit, and let that be however you think appropriate. But I would offer these words as well before we begin our musical introduction into tefillah. And this is a prayer that will sound familiar to you. Dear God, guard our speech from evil and our lips from deception. Before those who slander us, let us hold our tongues. Let us practice humility. Open our hearts to your Torah, that we may pursue your mitzvot. As for all who think evil of us, cancel their designs and frustrate their schemes. Act for your own sake, for the sake of your power, for the sake of your holiness, for the sake of your Torah, so that your loved ones may be rescued. Save with your power and answer us. May the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable to you, eternal God, our rock and redeemer. May you who make peace in the heavens make peace for us, for Israel, and for all who inhabit our world.
There are some Jewish communities that recite Chatzi Kaddish before going into their Amidah. It's not in our prayer book in the Reform movement, but I wanted to offer you all just to listen, maybe hear the words of the Kaddish in a way that you haven't heard them before. You can start exploring the silent Amidah even once I've begun to sing, or you can listen. And again, as Rabbi mentioned, we'll then move into the words of either the book or of our own hearts. If you want to follow along, though, with the Chatzi Kaddish, it can be found back on page 144. But I leave it up to you. Yitgadal ve'yitkadash Shemei Rabba be'alma divera chireutei ve'yamnich malchutei b'chayeichon uvyomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael Bakala uvizman kariv Ve'imeru amen Yehi Shemei Rabba mevarach Le'alam u'lalmei almaya yitbarach Yibarach ve'yishtabach Yipa'ar ve'itromam ve'yinaseh Yitadar ve'yitaleh Vitalal shemei dekudsha berichu Ole'elav min kol birchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata Tabiran ve'alema Ve'imeru amen. And I don't know what you all are going to choose for yourself, but I'm going to be standing for my quiet prayers, so people can decide as they like. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agit tehilatecha. If you're still offering words from the prayer book or from your own heart, please feel free to continue, but we'll gather together for a prayer for peace on page 180. Ose Shalom bimromav Uyase Shalom Aleinu Ve'al kol Yisrael Ve'al kol Yoshvei Tevel Ose Shalom bimromav Uyase Shalom Aleinu Ve'al kol Yisrael Ve'al kol Yoshvei Tevel Ose Shalom bimromav Uyase Shalom Aleinu Ve'al kol Yisrael Ve'al kol Yoshvei Tevel Ose Shalom bimromav Uyase Shalom Aleinu Ve'al kol Yisrael Ve'al kol Yoshvei Tevel
Shabbat is a unique institution in that we are really encouraged to rest and to separate from the cares of the world that could plague us if we really allowed them to. And this uniqueness, this separateness is something that is holy, that is sanctified, which is one of the reasons that the rabbis translated the word kiddush or kedusha not only as holy, but separate and apart. And so we separate this day from all the others. On page 123, we celebrate this day of rest, this day of Shabbat, with the Kiddush. Please join one another as you offer Kiddush again on page 123.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh, zecher litziat Mitzrayim, ki banu v'charta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, be'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh HaShabbat
L'chaim. We'd like to invite you to turn to one of two places, your choice. One is the inside back cover of the prayer book, but you don't have that online because there is no inside back cover online. So you can, if you're in the sanctuary, you can turn to the inside back cover of the prayer book. And if you are visiting with us online, please turn to page 6 or scroll down to page 6 in the supplement, and you'll find our prayer for healing on this night. We offer this prayer of healing for those affected by the coronavirus, to those whose lives ache with other physical, emotional, or spiritual illness. For those whose lives are made bitter by enslavement and addiction, to those who have suffered the ravages of nature. From those who have troubled themselves, to those who are troubled by the prejudices of others. These are the people whom we are thinking about at this time. Our healing list is very long. As you can imagine, we have a number of people who are suffering these and other specific ailments. But if you have someone in your family circle who you would like to say this prayer of healing for, we invite you to tell us if you'd like to share their name with us so that we can carry them in our hearts and help you carry the burden of their illness.
Max Pappas, and Debbie Alderman.
Amalia and Ephraim Sweet Gordimer.
This healing prayer, again, is on page 6 in the supplement, or it's the first selection in the inside back cover of the prayer book. Mishaverach imotenu Sarah, Rivka, Leah, Rachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Bless us with a vision for tomorrow. Help us to reach out to those in pain. May the warmth of friendship ease our sorrow. Give us courage, give us faith, show us the way. Ishebera Avotenu, Ishebera Imotenu. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, prayer, and bless us as well. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, prayer, and bless us as well. We continue with Aleinu, which is on page 586 in the prayer book. We rise for Aleinu. Again, page 586.
Can't hear your vocal mics off.
My microphone was not on.
Oh,
You're good.
Thank you, Rabbi Irv, for letting me know that my microphone was not on. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגופי מרומים, ואלוהינו אין עוד, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Please be seated. On page 589, let us read together at the top of the page, page 589. Let the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. Oh, may all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, you ever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth, and the word of your prophet fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever. On page 594, 591. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד
Zecher Tzadik Livracha, may the memory of the righteous always be a blessing. I offer this meditation on page 594, prior to the mourner's Kaddish. It is a fearful thing to love what death can touch. A fearful thing to love, hope, dream, to be, and oh, to lose. A thing for fools this, and a holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me, your laugh once lifted me, your word was gift to me. To remember this brings a painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing to love what death has touched. As we gather on this night, we remember many loved ones. We think of those whose deaths occurred in the last 30 days, those whose Yartzeiten occur at this time, and those who, for whatever reason, have come into our minds and consciousnesses as someone we remember with love, affection, and with gratitude for all they gave us in life. These are the people whom we knew about, for whom we are saying Kaddish on this night. Our community's recent deaths. We remember Colton Hunt, nephew of Bill and Linda White. Paula Sarnoff Orrick, mother-in-law of Karen Orrick. And Shulamit Elkayam, mother of Rachel Goldstein, grandmother of Noah and Ari Greenlee. And we also announced to the community the passing of Ron Walker, husband of Janice Wexler. And we are so happy, Janice, that you and your family, some of your members, are here tonight with us as we remember Ron. Funeral arrangements, memorial arrangements are pending as we still are reeling from the shock of his passing today. These are the Yartzeiten that we observe at this time as well. In continuing dedication to their memories, we recall Benjamin Agins, Alan Benderson, Marcia M. Kaminsky, Gladys S. Cohen, Corinne Abramson Cohn, Joseph Ellenbogen, Frida Goldstein Ellis, Irving Epstein, Ravina Finkelstein, Louis S. Glass, Ida Goldenberg, Paul Goldsmith, Albert Goldstein, David Joseph Goodfriend, Paul Hoffert, Gertrude Johns, Edward J. Juranic, Sarah E. Kasdan, Chris Kirby, Jose Lizama, Belle Mintz, Bertha Mrazinski, Bennett Nathanson, Reuben Orenstein, William Peterman, Betty Pines, Jeanette Rabinovitz, Josephine Heilprin Siegel, Rhoda Simo, Lucille Shovers, Yetta Slafer, Bert Spar, Irvine Yale Stein, Irv Steinberg, Louis A. Terman, Alan Wolkoff, all of a blessed memory. There may be other people tonight in our sanctuary who are remembering loved ones, and if you would like to add a name to our Kaddish list of someone who is dear to you and someone whom you remember, we invite you to do so.
John Herb,
Zichronam livracha, may their memories be blessings in our hearts and the hearts and minds of all those who knew and loved them. Testifying to the faith then that binds the generations of our people together, we now invite everyone to rise, and on page 598 is the mourner's Kaddish, which we offer as a community of consolation and comfort. Page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, ve'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon, uvechaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mevarach le'alam ulalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'ale v'yithalal, shemei dekudsha brihu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru amen. May God send peace to all who mourn and comfort to those who are bereaved, and we say, amen. Please be seated. Oops. Our service will conclude in just a few moments, and when it does, please remember to take an oneg to go. We have cookies that are sponsored by our Temple Beth El Sisterhood and provided by Just Bakery, a wonderful institution in our community that takes people who are coming out of prison and helping them to be rehabilitated. So take a cookie, they're very large, and enjoy your cookie as you leave the sanctuary. Again, we're still trying to keep a modicum of distance and time between people. So we first also want to thank everybody for wearing masks properly over both the nose and the mouth, and for being vaccinated. That was your entry ticket here, literally, into our sanctuary, into our building these days. Again, just to remind people who are watching online and people who are here that we do require proof of vaccination for entry in attending services in person. Regarding contact tracing, if you haven't signed in tonight, please do so, because if you test positive within 5 days after being here in person at Temple Beth El, we ask you to contact our executive director, Stephanie Kushner, at exec@tbemadison.org. And if we receive notification of anyone who was present tonight testing positive within a 5-day period, we will notify you because you were present here tonight. For this reason, we ask again that everyone please sign that book upon arrival. Tomorrow morning, we do have Torah study on Zoom at 9 a.m., which is going to be led by Nicole Jar, our Director of Lifelong Learning. In the week to come, we have, next Friday evening, we have Shabbat services at 7:30 p.m. That'll be here live, God willing, and on YouTube, so you can join us for that. And a week from tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock will be Torah study led by Steve Olson. And at 10:30 a.m., we will have the pleasure of inviting Etta Rice, the daughter of Katie and Josh Rice, to our bima as she becomes bat mitzvah here in our community. Tonight, we want to thank Leslie Koff, who was our greeter wherever she is. I know that she is somewhere. I think that she's somewhere. Thank you all for coming, and I thank my bima partner, Jacob Namey, our cantor, for being wonderful partner in worship leading and a partner in spiritual life here in our community. And as you probably saw, those of you who are members of Temple Beth El, when the cantor and I and our president and our executive director signed a few letters to you that we emailed to you last weekend during the time of the difficulty, the tragedy at Congregation Beth Israel in Colleyville, Texas. We are, as leaders of the community, want you to know that despite difficulties, that we believe in maintaining the sanctity and the wholeness of this place, of our community. And whether that is the integrity of the building, for which we thank our Board of Trustees as stewards of our congregational building, or whether we think about those who enter here and pray here, and you all come here with open hearts and open arms. And so we all are made up of one community, and all of that is extremely important. So again, we offer our gratitude for that as well. Anything else that we need to announce on this night? There are plenty of announcements on the program. I won't go into them all.
Nothing coming to mind.
Okay. So I offer this benediction, and then we have, I think we'll be using...
we'll be coming back to the Kaddish.
The Kaddish, right.
I'll direct everyone there.
Super. In this time of uncertainty and fear, do not let us rest. Send us forth that we may restore what is broken, heal what is wounded, and engage in acts of love with great and unrelenting determination. We shall do something kind and necessary for someone else. May this be our answer, and may this be our antidote to all the things that pain us in this world. Cantor.
So if you still have, you probably don't still have Mourner's Kaddish open. If we were still there, you would find these words that I had offered before when it was part of the Chatzi Kaddish. This was written actually very recently, this melody, and the person who wrote the melody decided to pick the word as their title, Le'ela, which means beyond. That everything that we want to say, the praises that we might have, the sadness we might experience, sometimes it is just beyond the words that we can possibly offer with our mouths, yet still we have to find some way to try.
It's on 144.
144, or if you were still on 598, you could find it there too. And so I'm going to just sing the refrain here, the Le'ela refrain, but then we're going to go back to where it says Yitbarach, which is the kind of the third section. But I just want you to listen to that Le'ela one more time so that maybe when we come back to it, we can really all join in it together. It would be helpful if I was looking at it. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alema ve'imeru amen. Yibarach ve'yishtabach ve'yitpa'ar ve'itromam ve'yinase. Once more, Yibarach ve'yishtabach ve'yitpa'ar ve'itromam ve'yinase. Same thing, ve'yitadar ve'yitale ve'yitalal shemei dekudsha berichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alema ve'imeru amen ve'imeru amen ve'imeru amen. Amen.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.